Hey SK fans, Leonix here. I'm joined by Scarra of CLG, and they just won their game this week of Week 5. You have actually been on the coaching role for quite some time now. How's that been? How's that life been?
Uh, I just think there's a lot for me to learn still. Like, I don't really even consider the time coaching, dig really like a coaching position. It's just kind of me, like, kind of interning, I feel. And, like, the real, like, because it was, like, I didn't really make that much of a difference there. And I want to make sure I make a lot more difference here. And so far, I feel like I haven't hit the goal that I wanted to hit, but I'm still going to be working toward it.
Fair enough. I hear that you get male fashion advice from Leonix the Great.
How This was completely unplanned. Like, when I came in here and they're like, "You're gonna interview an SK person." I'm like, "All right." So, is it that random guy that interviewed Zix the other day? They're like, "Yes." And so I walk in, I see you, and you have a vest on. I have a vest. I'm just like, someone's gonna have to die.
All right. So you guys win against your opponent this week. Any particular strategy? I know that Zix was filling in for you the past couple weeks. He actually is kind of undefeated. Yeah, well, he has a one loss on his belt, but you also have one loss under your belt with TSM. Comments.
Well, I just feel like, you know what, we weren't. I think they're better than us in team fights, and we're better in the mid game, and so we just made more mistakes than they did. Even though I felt like there were a lot of times in the game where we played better than them. But sometimes the best team, in my opinion, is the team that wins. And so even though a lot of them were like, "Oh, you guys were the better team afterwards. You guys played really well. Like, you guys deserve to win." I heard that a lot, and to me, I'm just like, the team that won deserves to win, and it doesn't matter. Like, unless something from the sky happens, like a meteor hits someone, then it's like, okay, well, I can understand. But I think they're just being really generous. They're a great team, and they team fight super well.
Do you guys pick on Hotshot right now for his luscious, awesome hair?
It's actually really funny. Like, we only see Hotshot like a couple times a day, and now every time we see him, it's like pink hair. So he livens up the atmosphere. I really feel like it's more colorful when he walks in, so to speak.
I feel like I tweeted out like we should start like a solidarity movement for Hotshot and kind of like get it into a league fashion trend where like everybody just has pink hair and look like Vi.
I would be not down for that, but I would consider more hair color bets. I think that's like the next step for like, the management of teams to go for. It's like, you guys got an argument, you disagree about something, take it out on a bet. I'm super down. I think it's super hype. I love it. Whether or not I'd be willing to join in is a completely different story. I probably would, because I made that Bold Cut bet with Loco, which I ended up winning, but after watching how he got the cut, I kind of felt like I ended up losing. So, but I don't know. I'd maybe be willing to step back in the ring for that kind of stuff. I think it's really cool that George was able to do it, and he didn't flake out. I felt like he got the pink hair. He doesn't like it, but like, he took it like a man. I like that about him.
Much improvement in the infrastructure of esports by betting on colored hair. All right, so you guys win today. Do you feel that your team is actually performing a little bit more better? I know that I don't want to take anything away from Zix in that kind of like that coaching role for the first couple of weeks, but do you feel that they're kind of like meshing a little bit better on stage with you?
Definitely meshing better on stage, but it's mainly because the first week I had no idea what I was doing. Like, literally, in scrims and in LCS, we do like the pre-game a little bit differently, and so I'm a lot more vocal during scrims, but on the LCS stage, they're a lot more vocal. So a lot of times they already say what I mean to say or I mean to tell them. So the first week I felt like I didn't really perform well, like the pre-game, like the draft stuff, because they were already covering what I needed to say. So I realized, like, this week we talked about it, and they're like, you should focus on this kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'll look to focus on like all of these things instead. And so that way, there's like a clear goal of me of what I should be doing and what they should be doing as well.
When it comes to management, I talked to Zix earlier. He said that like, I know how like cringeworthy this might sound, but like you built like this management with like Hotshot of this friendship atmosphere of what happened like the previous season. Is this true? Does this kind of work for you? Is that a reason why you kind of like left Dignitas, or what is that kind of like motivation behind that?
I think whatever happens, I would have left Dig anyways. Like 100, like they're very, very likely I would have left Dig because I had been thinking about it like months in advance. So with that out of the way, I don't know if I based my coaching, like the players I picked up and got on an atmosphere of friendship. I just feel like it's imperative that people work together, you know. And I don't have the ability to resolve conflicts or to help with communication at the extent that I could with maybe better players, but like worse players who like are not vocal or don't have communication skills, don't have social skills, don't have like conflict management skills. And because I recognize like I'm weak in those areas, I know that I would best be able to perform with a team, and they'd best be able to work with each other if I had like-minded individuals on the same team. And that's what I looked for, you know. I also looked for good players, obviously. I felt like I got good players and like-minded individuals as well.
I've talked to actually a couple coaches over the seasons and the time that I've been in esports, and they tell me that it's always very hard to be that person that kind of gains the players' respects. But you are a little bit different on that hand because you used to be a player. You're a young guy, and you actually play with double lift. But I kind of want to ask you the same. How do you gain the respect of your players of like, hey, you've got to listen to me. I know what is best for you or what is best for the team.
I think the best way is just to make sure it's like results focused, right? Like people will try something, but you have to make sure that if when you make them do something and they try it, that if it goes wrong, you like own up to it, or you like show why it went wrong for what specific reasons. It just so happens that if you make them do stuff and they don't want to do it, and what happens is like something stupid, like it's just like they're just gonna be like, okay, well, like this guy's an idiot, right? And I wouldn't say that I have like full respect of the players on the team, but I feel like I'll hopefully gain the respect of the players over the season as I become a better coach, because I don't think like I'm like a perfect coach. I feel like there's like a lot of room for me to improve, and for other coaches as well. And so I for me especially, and I feel like in this field specifically, like there aren't coaching seminars like there are for like the NFL or whatever, where senior coaches will go over with younger coaches about how they coach and like over what to do, resolve conflicts, stuff like that. I think it's really just about working together with the players to make them the best players. You know, it's not like I control what they do. I don't tell them like, okay, you have to CS for exactly 17 minutes and 13 seconds and then group mid. No, like and that's not what a coach should do. I feel it's you work together with the players. Like they tell you, they give you feedback on what you do. If they don't like what you're doing, you just should be frank. Like, or if they should just be frank. And we work off that system now, where it's just like, okay, if they don't like what I did that week or something like that, they're just like, I don't think this was helpful for us. I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? And they're like, I think this would be a lot better. I'm like, okay, great, we can do it starting this way. And if that doesn't work out, we work something else, but we work our way up. And I feel like that's the best way for me to learn. And so I grow as the team grows.
Encouraging words. I know this might be a little bit off topic, but he used to be one of your teammates. Crumbs recently retired. I want to know what your thoughts on that.
I wasn't ever particularly super close with Crumbs. I feel like generally in the environment he was just more of a lone wolf. Like for all the people on the team, he just kind of did his own thing sometimes. Like he liked to go out to parties sometimes, and we like just stayed back and play games, you know. And he liked to be like a little bit more social as well. So you know, him retiring I feel like was the best for him, because I felt like in the atmosphere that was left after I left, not to say that I encouraged a better atmosphere. I'm just saying that with the players involved, I didn't feel like he could work well with the people that were left. And so I felt like if I had stayed on the dig, I would have made the roster to where he was gone or someone else was gone, or like the players. None of the players that are on the roster or the three remaining players would not stick together, I would say.
Any shout-outs?
You know, I just a shout out to all the CLG sponsors, of course, because I don't really do many interviews, and I don't know. It's just like I used to love doing interviews, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh God, another interview. But I feels bad, and as soon as I think that, I'm like, I should never think that, because you should love doing interviews. But I don't know. Maybe today I'm just super tired. But I mean, aside from that, like I want to shout out to like all the fans, you know, who are still with us, because we lost to TSM, and you know, even though we lost, I felt like we did a lot of good things and maybe did a lot of bad things as well. And so I think rather than being the team that's known for inconsistent results or whatever, I want to be known as a team that maybe is not the best right now, but will consistently show points of improvement throughout the split. I think that's the best way to become the best team, and that's something that I strive to do.
So what you're saying is the golden age still lives on?
I think it's the pink age now.
All right, if you want any more coverage just like this, be sure to check out SK Gaming. Like, comment, subscribe. Other than that, till next time, guys.